Okay. So a cluster of guavas swung just above him. He reached up for one of them, but to his surprise, he found himself clutching. Clutching means holding. Okay. Clutching a small bare foot which had suddenly been thrust through the foliage. Now, cluster of guavas, it's a collective noun beta. Okay, so basically a bunch of guavas. Alright, so it was hanging just above him. We use above when something is there but there is gap between the two. It's not touching the surface. Okay, so we'll use above. Okay, so when he tried to grab the guavas there, to his surprise, he was surprised to see that he didn't get the guavas there, and instead of that, do you know what did he get there? He got a bare foot. See in the picture in front of you in the book. Do you see the picture? He is holding a bare foot. Yes. So this is what happened when he tried to grab the guavas there. Now, thrust. Do you see thrust? Thrust means pushed. Thrust means pushed. So somebody just pushed his bare foot downwards. Okay. And foliage. Foliage means the leaves of the tree. Okay. The leaves. Now turn the page, beta. Having caught the foot, Ranji did not let go. So Ranji was very strong, okay? And having caught the foot, having caught means after catching the foot, okay? Having caught means after catching the foot, he did not let go. He kept on holding the foot, okay? Instead, he pulled it hard, okay? So he did not let it go, and instead of that, he just tried to pull it downwards so that he could know that who exactly is sitting there in the tree, right? So there was a squeal and someone came toppling down on him. Alright, so there was a squeal. The moment Ranji, pulled the whosoever was there in the tree, I will not reveal that. Okay, so he tried to pull them. Of course, the person whosoever was there, he or she felt pain. Okay, so squeal. Squeal means a cry. Okay, a cry out of pain. Okay, so and someone came toppling down on him. Okay, so somebody just fell from there. Now, Ranji found himself clutching at arms and legs. Together, they crashed through a couple of branches and landed with a thud on the soft ground beneath the tree. Now, when somebody came falling down, that person just held Ranji, okay? And because of that, they both came down on the grass, okay? And do you see the words like crashed? Crashed means fell, okay? Crashed means fell, and there is another word thud, T-H-U-D. This is thud, okay? That is when something falls on ground, it produces a sound, okay? That is called thud, T-H-U-D, thud. Alright, so now both the fellows were on the ground, right? Ranji and the intruder struggled fiercely. Now intruder means somebody who enters somewhere without any permission. Of course, Ranji was also an intruder. Okay, so they both struggled fiercely. Okay, just to free, themselves. Right. So fiercely means very badly. Okay. they rolled about on the grass. Rolled about means they rolled about on the grass, right? Ranji tried a judo hold without any success. Then he saw that his opponent was a girl. Wow. Alright. So Ranji tried everything. Okay. He knew some tricks of judo as well. So he tried on that also. Right. But he could not get success there. And after that moment he realized that the opponent, the person who kept falling down with him, was a girl. Okay. It was his friend and neighbor Koki. Alright. So here comes our next character, a girl named Koki. Okay. So he found out that it was his friend only, friend come neighbor, okay, whose name was Koki. Okay. So then he said, "It's you?" He gasped. Okay. Then in surprise he just said, "Was it you?" Okay. So and he gasped. Gasped means, beta, when you are exhausted, when you are tired, okay, and you are losing your breath. Of course, because you know you are tired. So he said, "Okay, it's you." Alright, this is how he said, right? So, "It's me," said Koki. "And what are you doing here?" Okay, Koki also, she was surprised and she said this, she asked the same question. You know, she asks, "What are you doing here?" Alright, so, "Get your knee out of my stomach and I'll tell you." Now Ranji says, "At least get your knee out of my stomach." Of course, because they were fighting. Alright, then only I'll tell you. So when he had recovered his breath, he said, "I just felt like climbing a tree." Okay, so now when he got a little calm and when he got his breath back, he said, "I just wanted to climb a tree," right? So Koki says, "So did I." Okay, so she says, I had the same wish. I also wanted to climb the tree. He stared at her. Okay, stare means to look at somebody continuously for some time. Okay, stare. So he stared at her like this. Okay, so there was guava juice at the corners of her mouth and on her chin. So why was he staring at her? Because there was all around her mouth, there was guava juice. Okay, so Koki must have enjoyed lots of guavas there. Yes. Okay, so of course it was obvious that she has enjoyed. So Ranji asked, "Are the guavas good?" "Quite sweet in this tree," said Koki. "You find another tree for yourself, Ranji. There must be 30 or 40 trees to choose from." Alright, so after that Koki says, "There are many trees here. You can go and choose any one for yourself, but not this one." Okay, so she was being quite authoritative about that tree. Alright, so and all going to waste, said Ranji. "Look, some of the guavas have been spoilt by the birds." Then Ranji says, "Of course, but it's all going to be waste because many of them have already been spoiled by the birds and now they they cannot be used to eat. Okay, they are not perfect to eat, right? So nobody wants them, it seems." Koki climbed back on her tree and Ranji obliquely walked a little further and climbed another tree. Now, Koki says, yes, it seems. It seems means it appears, okay, that nobody wants them, okay. And while saying that, Koki just climbed the tree, climbed back the tree in the same tree, okay. And Ranji, he just walked a little further and he went to the next tree adjacent to the Koki's tree. Now, after a few polite exchanges, they fell silent, their attention given over entirely to the eating of guavas. Now, of course, because the two were friends and they had been talking to each other, so after little exchanges for some time, and after that they both became quiet and they just indulged themselves. They were busy eating, enjoying the guavas, okay. So I have eaten 5, okay, said Koki after some time. You'd better stop, okay. So when Koki said that she had already eaten 5, then Ranji warned her, then you should stop now, okay. You are only saying that because you have just started. Now Koki was being rude and she just said that you are saying this thing just because you have started eating it now, okay, right? That's why you are saying. Well, 3 is enough for me. But Ranji says 3 guavas are enough for me. I am satisfied with that. I am getting a tummy ache, I think. Now, Koki, she complained of tummy ache. Ache means pain. Tummy ache, stomach, pain. Okay? Of course, it had to be. When you eat so many guavas at one time, at the same time, what would happen? Of course, you would get a tummy ache, right? Then, I warned you, Ranji said, I warned you, come on, I'll take you home. We can come back tomorrow. There are still lots of guavas left, hundreds, okay. Now Ranji says that I already warned you about this, that you should stop eating now. Okay, now come down and I'll take you home. And don't be greedy, we can come back tomorrow. There are so many guavas still left. So don't you worry about that, okay? So climb down now. Then, where are we? Okay, I don't think I want to eat anymore, said Koki. Now Koki was finally, she said, okay, I'm not going to eat anymore now, okay? So she felt better the next day, okay? Next day, she was fine, right? So well, in fact, that Ranji found her leaning on the gate, waiting for him to join her. She was accompanied by her small brother, Teju. Now, here comes our next character, that is Teju. Teju. Teju is Koki's brother, little brother. Alright, so when it was next day, and what did Ranji find there? When he came in front of his house, Koki was leaning on his gate. Suppose this is the gate and she was leaning there. Okay, leaning means to bend. Okay, she was leaning on the gate as if she was waiting. She had been waiting for Ranji, that when would he come and they again would go to the orchard, right? But this time Koki was accompanied by, who was with him? Yes, she was accompanied by her little brother Teju. Alright, so Teju was 6 years old, okay, and he was very mischievous. Now mischievous means very naughty. Very naughty. Alright. So, how are you feeling today? Asked Ranji. Hungry, said Koki. Okay. So, now she didn't have the stomach pain, and again she was in the same mode that she wanted to have lots and lots of guavas there. Okay. So, she was all set to go in the orchard and grab all the guavas there. So she said, I'm hungry. Okay. Why did you bring your brother? Asked Ranji. He wants to start climbing trees. So she just says that, he wants to learn climbing, and he just wants to climb the trees now. Okay. Soon they were in the orchard. Ranji and Koki helped Teju onto the branches of one of the smaller trees and then made for other trees. Okay, disturbing a party of parrots who flew in circles round the orchard, screaming their protest. Now, they reached in the orchard, and then Ranji and Koki, they helped Teju to climb a smaller tree. Okay, because it was initial stage for Teju, and he was a fresh climber. Okay, so it was better to climb a tree which is low in height. Okay, so they they helped him climb up the tree. Then while doing that, they just disturbed a party of parrots. Now this is the second collective noun that we are coming across in the lesson. So it's party of parrots. Okay, and we can also say company of parrots or flock of parrots. Okay, that is the group of parrots. Now, who flew in circles? Of course, when you disturb a group of parrots, what will happen? They will just go over the trees and they will start flying in circles. Okay, just to show that this is not right thing. I mean, this is not justified what you have done with us. All right. So screaming means shouting. Okay, two boys and a girl talking to each other from three different trees can make quite a lot of noise, and it wasn't only the birds who were disturbed. Okay, now when there are three kids, when there are three children at some place, okay, and they are not together, one is here, one is there, and one is there, from three different directions, they are talking to each other, so they make quite a lot of noise. Now imagine yourself. Yes, you all make a lot of noise when you are happy, when you are with your friends, right? So when they did this, they did not only disturb the parrots or the birds. There was somebody else also who was disturbed by them. Now let us find out who was that person. Okay, so though they did not know it, the orchard belonged to a wealthy property dealer, and he employed a watchman, okay, whose duty was to keep away birds, children, monkeys, flying foxes, and other fruit-eating pests. Now, the owner of the orchard was a wealthy means very rich property dealer who deals in property, and he employed a watchman. Okay, so a watchman was hired to be at this place in the orchard to keep a watch all around and keep the orchard safe from children, birds, bats, and other pests. Pests are insects which eat fruits and all. Okay, so there was this watchman also, but on a hot sultry afternoon, Gopal the watchman, now another character in the story, has been introduced now, who is Gopal. Gopal is the watchman. Okay, Gopal is the watchman. Now, so it was a hot afternoon, and when in such weather you relax beneath a shady tree, it's pleasant and it's quite relaxing. So this is the same thing what the watchman had been doing at that time. He was relaxing under a shady tree. So snoring so loudly that the flies who had been buzzing around him felt that a storm was brewing and kept their distance. Now when he was sleeping, and he was sleeping soundly, okay, and he was snoring. What is snoring? When you make sounds while sleeping, when you are when you are into deep deep sleep, sound sleep, okay. So he was snoring badly, and it was so loud that the flies which were buzzing around, which were flying around, they just felt that there was a storm, okay, and they kept themselves away from the watchman. Now he woke up to the sound of voices raised high in glee. Okay, glee means happiness. Okay, Glee. Glee means happiness. So suddenly he woke up, and the voices of the children, it disturbed him. Okay, so sitting up, he brushed a ladybird from his long mustaches, and then seized his lathi, a long stout stick usually carried by watchmen. Now when he heard that, he just got up and he just brushed. Brush means to remove something, okay. So a ladybug was there, a little insect which was sitting on his mustache. So he just brushed it, okay, and he just grabbed his lathi, okay, which you must have seen the watchman with, okay. So after that, stout word beta, stout means thick, okay, it was good thick stick, okay. And seized, seized, seized means held, okay, seized means to hold something. Who's there? He shouted, struggling to his feet, okay. So there was a sudden silence in the trees. Who's there? He called again. No answer. Of course, the children got to know that of course there is somebody. So they just became silent. Okay. I must have been dreaming. The watchman, when he did not get any answer, he just said to himself, I must be dreaming. Okay. He muttered. Muttered means when mutter is the verb here. Mutter means when you speak something in a low voice which is not clear. Okay. So, and was preparing to lie down and take another nap. Nap means short sleep. Okay. So he just thought it must be a dream, and he was ready to have the nap again, when Teju, who had been watching him, burst into laughter. Oh my God. Now what happened? When the watchman was convinced, okay, nobody is there, Teju, he just burst into laughter. He laughed loudly. Okay. So, ho, shouted the watchman. Okay. Coming to life again. Thieves, I'll settle you. Okay. Now he was very angry. And he said, okay, I'll deal with you, I'll see you. And he began striding towards the center of the orchard, boasting all the time of his physical prowess. Now, striding means walking quickly. Of course, he started walking in anger, okay, angrily towards the direction from which the sound came, right? All right. And boasting means, to emphasize that I am very strong and I'll see you, I will not leave you. I am not afraid of thieves, bandits or wild beasts. Beast means animals. So he was just, he was shouting and he was going there, right? So I'll have you know that I was once the wrestling champion of the entire district of Dehra. Okay, come on out and fight me if you dare. Okay, now the watchman was very angry and he was shouting that I was a wrestling champion and I am very strong and I am not afraid of anyone. If you dare means if you have courage. If you have courage, come down, come out and fight with me. Okay, so he was very angry now. All right, so after that, run, hissed Koki. Koki said to his friends that we should run now because we are caught now and we are into big problem. Okay, so she said run. Okay, now scrambling down from her tree. Now she was slowly coming down from the tree and she just told her friends to run from there. Now run, shouted Ranji as though it were a cricket match. Now after that Ranji just decided yes we should run now and he just shouted okay now run. So it was the final instructions for both the other children, okay, Ranji and Teju. Alright, then beta notice it here as though it were. Why we have used were here? Because they are imagining a situation which is not a real situation. So when we talk about a hypothetical means imaginary situation which is not real, we use were. Okay, for example I can say if I were the president. Actually I am not. That is the reason I am saying if I were. Okay, all right. So Teju was so startled by the sudden activity that he tumbled out of his tree and began crying. Okay, and Ranji and Koki had to go to his aid. Now Teju being younger than the other two, so he got startled. Startled means shocked. Okay, so he just got shocked and he could not react. He could not run, and instead of running he just started crying there. And of course then Ranji and Koki, they had to come back to help him out. Okay, so after that, the sight of an enormous ex-wrestler bearing down on them was enough to make Teju stop crying and get to his feet. Now Teju just stopped crying. Why? Because he just saw the enormous means big, giant, ex-wrestler. Ex means somebody who is not now but he was earlier. Now if we say the watchman was ex-wrestler, that means he was a wrestler before, not now, not presently. Okay, so then all three were fleeing across the grove. Fleeing means running swiftly. Grove means the orchard. The watchman a little way behind them, waving his lathi and shouting at the top of his voice. Okay, so the children were running and the watchman was following them. Although he was an ex-wrestler, he could not run very fast and was still huffing. When you get tired, you lose breath. So what happens? You do like this. Okay, so that is called huffing, right? And puffing, huffing and puffing. some 20 meters behind them. When they climbed up over the wall, he could not climb walls either. Now, though he was an ex-wrestler, but he could not, catch those children, and he was just huffing there, okay? And the children, they just went and, they jumped over the wall and they went. Alright, I hope you have understood it till here, okay? So, rest of the lesson we'll cover in the next video. Thank you so much.